What's up, everybody? In this car, and I have had quite the history already. This is a stupid vehicle. This is possibly the dumbest modification that anyone can do to a vehicle ever. It really doesn't make a lot of sense other than making people look at you, which it's very good at. Honestly, like, that's the one thing car people, not car people, all have to revel at the monstrosity that is, or used to be, a Crown Vic. Now, I bought this car from Florida, of course, where some of the finest abominations of automobile car collections come from, because Florida doesn't have a inspection process. So you can buy a car in Florida, never have to get it inspected. You can have one wheel on it, the bumper could be dragging down the road, doesn't matter. You can register it in Florida and you don't have to worry about any safety standards whatsoever. Now, I bought this car for about $4,000 and it really bit me in the butt because I'm about 10 G's deep into it. How is that possible? Well, the guy who sold it to me, and you'd be surprised how much people want for things like this. The guy who sold it to me told me that it was running and driving when he parked it, but it needed a tune-up. I trailered it over to a shop in St. Petersburg, and with that information, I spent $1,000 changing the, there's a rollover computer that thinks the car is going to tip over, so it cuts the ignition. I spent $1,000 getting the car running. And then I said, would you drive it? And the guy's like, well, I probably wouldn't drive it. But this one, with only 85,000 pristine miles on it, not happy. He drained the tank, he put a new tank in, he did the computer, he did a bunch of stuff. Turns out I sent the truck down to get it and spent another $1,000 to bring it up to New Jersey. And it's a good thing I did, because when it came up here, we swapped the coils on it and found out that it had no compression in 3 of the cylinders. So the engine was blown. That's what I'm talking about. Give it to me, baby. So I spent $1,000 on a guy in Florida to get a blown engine to idle. And then I spent more money to transport it up here. Then I swapped the motor. And this is all now snowballing. Bought a motor, put the motor in, started driving it back, and it turns out the trans was bad. So it had a bad engine, bad trans. Now I swapped the trans, swapped the motor, and you see this $10,000 monstrosity I have here today. And it's as close as it's going to get right now. It still has some problems, I'm not going to lie. The windows don't go up and down, and the air conditioning doesn't work. I don't know if that makes sense to a lot of people, or if anyone's grown up poor like I did, but when that happens, it gets quite hot up in the car. So the fact that it's 80 degrees in New York today, I'm not looking forward to this. But it's time I finally have it running in one piece. I might as well give you guys the experience as to what my thoughts are about the donk. Take it and give it the old 1-2, and I'll let you know my thoughts. Right now, my thoughts are, why did I spend 10 grand on this? So, I gotta put some gas in it right now. It's having some drivability issues, but doesn't really, like, what's the expectation with this thing? Are you expecting a smooth driving car? I mean, it should still drive, at least the engine should purr like a Crown Vic. It doesn't. Some misfires. I don't know if it's misfires. We just swapped a coil pack. I think there's another one held together with a zip tie. Maybe we'll swap another one. But first things first, let's get some gas in this thing. I can't hold certain things against the car, so I can't levy judgment based off the fact that the windows don't work and then the air conditioning doesn't work. I think the AC not working, it's weird that none of the windows work, right? The AC not working, I sort of chalk up to the fact that they swapped the engine, they probably cracked the lines or something like that. And that's something that's probably easily addressable, but it's pretty hot in here, not gonna lie. I mean, you know what? I'm a guy putting a sauna in at my house, so I can't really complain about the heat. I'm just gonna pretend like I'm in a robe right now and I'm a driving coffin. Come on. Uh-oh, what is that? I got a blinking green light here, and I don't know what that means. Maybe it's that you're driving a stupid car light, but I don't know. This is an interesting, self-expression move, and an interesting thing to do with an automobile. Come on. Don't tell me you didn't run out of gas. Okay, good. Like the low fuel light's on, so I'm debating whether we're actually running out of gas or we're just screwed. We don't have far to go to get to the gas station. Right there, right there, right there. All right. We're gonna make it. All right, kick that gear, good. What is that light? It's got, oh, overdrive is off. Good, who cares? Who needs overdrive? Oh, how are you? Now, you'd probably ask yourself, what type of person does this to a car, right? I say, there you go, a little honk honk, that's for me. Why are you honking at the guy with the stupid $4,000 car? That's why people do this. Now, usually, let's see if I can sneak out here. Ooh, baby. Come on. All right. Feels a little down on power, but it doesn't matter. This is a low and slow, well, a high and slow sort of car that you just want to sort of, well, that's not good. Yep. No, come on, let's not break down on the highway here. Just get up the hill. Not a good place to break down. You can do it. Come on. Oh, you're not doing it, so it wasn't the gas. I don't even have a speedometer right now, but I know everybody that's going just as slow as me. Oh, we're gonna do this, we're gonna get this. All right, let's get off here, because it seems like an appropriate thing to do in a car like this. Yeah, let's just say this is pretty dumb. You know, let's go the long way. Let's go over to Cosmo. Smells a little funny, but that's to be expected. But yeah, this is the type of car, it's the cheapest way to look at me. But so is walking around without pants, right? You walk around without pants, everyone's gonna take pictures, everyone's gonna be like, oh, look at that guy, because it's just such an anomaly. And it's the cheap way to do it, like taking off pants. Anyone who wears pants can take them off. This is just, let's just say, the getaway to do it. Now, I wanna say the type of guy that does this doesn't want to spend a lot of money, wants that street cred, probably is gonna put big speakers and start bumping some music. I tried to eject the disc. The only cassette tape that this car came with, and it still has a cassette player, is on the floor, and that's DMX. And I can't really fault them, because who doesn't like DMX, right? DMX is solid. Now, I'm probably, there you go, some thumbs up. See, people are digging this car. It's not me. Like, I don't think when they look up, they expect to see me. Now, I don't want to, like, this is like that tippy toe, like as a white guy, I can't really make any generalizations or stereotypes, but I can say that I'm probably not the person you'd expect to see driving this. And it is cool how many people sort of react to it. And I'm gonna sort of abort mission a little earlier than I normally would, because A, I am losing weight as we sit here because it's so hot, and B, it's just not really driving well. I don't know. I've got lots of plans for this. I'm going to tell you that, let's start with the positives, right? What does this do better than an equivalent car? It goes through flooding better. It turns more heads. A normal Crown Vic, nobody gives it the second look unless they think it's a cop car. So it does those things well, right? It looks strange so that people like check it out, and like even non-car people take photos of this. You may think it handles bad roads better, but that's subject to interpretation as to, I can't really attest to that, because I don't have a non-stupid Crown Vic to try this with. But I can tell you that it's probably not going to handle so well in the evasive maneuvers. So say the deer test where like a deer jumps out in front of you, this is probably going to drive right over the deer. That's good too though. Like just driving over the deer is better than hitting the deer, and the deer is probably below the bumper. So the deer probably has a survivability rating slightly higher with these on the road than it does just a regular Joe Blow Crown Vic. Clearance, you can drive over curbs. That's probably pretty useful. You know what? Let's go try that out. Driving over curbs is useful when you like get too close to a spot, or maybe some guy in a small car parks in front of you. You can sort of drive right over him. But other than that, like, I really can't think of many positives above and beyond what a normal Crown Vic would have. Now, there is, I'm just thinking of where I can go. What is that? Oh, is that my thing reach temperature? The new GoPro. Let me just point out, that's a GoPro Hero 8, which is an action camera, which you should be able to like use in the desert. It just shut down because of heat issues driving in this. That shows you what an animal I am for being able to bring this to you in such a cool and collective fashion while sweating my nuts off. It is so hot in here. Let's get some air. It's cool. Like the air is nice, but it does highlight how much fuel leak there is because I can smell it. Oof. All right, let's go do a U-turn here. Let's test the U-turn ability of this thing. And luckily the grass is pretty tall here. See, like you can't do this in a regular Crown Vic, right? Like I don't think that that's something that most people will be able to pull off. So you do have that ability. If you do run into a situation where you have to do a U-turn somewhere where most cars would have to 3-point, I got that circle style. So if objective one is your only objective, which is to turn heads, it's a pretty good use of money. If there's any other objective in modifying the car, then you're probably wasting your money. I think this is hands down the single dumbest thing that you can do to modify a car and then to drive it on the road. Like if you just want to do it to park it in your yard or something like a big monster truck, sure. But this doesn't even have the capabilities of a monster truck. This is just plain stupid. Stupid. Yes, S-T-O-O-P-I-D, stupid. So, I am absolutely looking forward to the head turning abilities though, for when I get some restaurants opening up again, and you can't even get good reactions now because everyone's wearing face masks. But it's, when I can pull up, like this car belongs in the hood. I'm not saying a white hood, I'm not saying a black hood, I'm just saying it belongs in like the hood, on the other side of the tracks, right? That's where you get the cred. You drive this through Beverly Hills or something like that, people are like, who's that guy? And you get the cool reactions, but you're not gonna fit in. Now, I'm looking forward to valeting this, because I think valets are gonna love it. Right? Pull up to a restaurant, let them jump in, and like this is like foreign matter to them. Yeah, they've driven Ferraris, they've driven Corvettes, they've driven all the cool cars, but how often have they driven a lifted Crown Vic donk? Thanks for watching. I'm hot. I'm getting out of here, pass out on the ground, and it would have been nice if I broke that, right? But I will talk to you later, and we'll get this thing wrapped up. So you guys are familiar with my other company, Adventure Drives, right? Well, this year we've got 2 trips coming up. One which is starting in Seattle and ending in Jackson Hole in July. That's going up through the Canadian Rockies, coming down through Banff, Yellowstone, Glacier National Park, and Grand Teton National Park. It's going to be phenomenal. Also, we're going to be going to Scotland in October. We're going to be doing Scotch distilleries, playing golf at St. Andrews if you want to do that, walking around, seeing lakes, waterfalls, driving the North Coast. It's going to be an amazing trip. Prices start as low as $2,500 per person for the shorter trip in Scotland, about double that for the longer trip in July. If you're interested in going, check out the link in the description.